One boxer saved thousands of lives through charity work and became a senator who helped an entire nation. Another murdered his wife by throwing her off a balcony and died in a prison van. In this video, I'm going to show you 8 boxers, 4 who used their fame to save lives, and 4 who destroyed everything they touched. The stories on both sides will shock you. Let's start with the heroes. Number 4. Vitaly Klitschko. Imagine retiring as heavyweight champion with a 45-2 record, becoming the mayor of a capital city, and then having to defend that city from a full-scale military invasion. That's exactly what happened to Vitaly Klitschko. In February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. While most politicians fled the country, Vitaly stayed. He put on military fatigues, grabbed a rifle, and helped organize the defense of Kyiv. At 50 years old, this man could have been safe anywhere in the world. He had money. He had fame. He could have left, but he didn't. He stayed in Kyiv as Russian missiles fell on the city and fought to protect his people. News crews filmed him inspecting bombed-out buildings and organizing resistance efforts. He became a symbol of Ukrainian courage. When asked why he stayed, he said, "I'm not just a mayor, I'm a citizen. This is my home." Vitaly Klitschko didn't just talk about courage, he lived it. Number 3. Vladimir Klitschko. Now imagine Vitaly's younger brother doing the exact same thing. Vladimir Klitschko is a 2-time heavyweight champion with a 64-5 record. But what most people don't know is that he has a PhD in sports science. He's one of the most educated athletes in the history of combat sports. But here's what makes him a hero. In 2012, Vladimir auctioned off his 1996 Olympic gold medal, the most valuable possession an athlete can own. The winning bid was $1 million. Vladimir gave every single penny to a Ukrainian children's charity that builds schools and provides medical care for sick kids. When reporters asked why he'd give up something so priceless, he said, "The medal is just metal. Children's lives are priceless." And when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Vladimir joined his brother. He enlisted in the Ukrainian Reserve Army at 46 years old and helped defend Kyiv. 2 brothers, both heavyweight champions, both PhD holders, both war heroes. The Klitschko brothers proved that strength isn't just physical, it's moral. Number 2. Muhammad Ali. What would you sacrifice for your principles? Your career? Your freedom? Millions of dollars? Muhammad Ali sacrificed all of it. In 1967, at the peak of his career, Ali refused to be drafted into the Vietnam War. He said, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." He was arrested, stripped of his heavyweight title, and banned from boxing for 3 years, his prime years. He lost millions of dollars. He lost his titles. He risked prison, but he never wavered. After his boxing career, Ali dedicated his life to charity. He traveled to war zones as a peace ambassador. He negotiated the release of hostages in Iraq. He raised hundreds of millions of dollars for Parkinson's research and children's hospitals. When he lit the Olympic torch at the 1996 Atlanta Games, his hands were shaking from Parkinson's disease. But he stood there, trembling, and lit that flame anyway. Muhammad Ali sacrificed everything for his principles, and then spent the rest of his life helping others. He wasn't just the greatest boxer, he was one of the greatest humans. Number 1. Manny Pacquiao. Sleeping on the street in a cardboard box at 12 years old, selling donuts just to eat, dropping out of school because your family can't afford it, that was Manny Pacquiao's childhood. Then he discovered boxing. Pacquiao became the only 8-division world champion in history. He won 62 fights and became the most famous athlete in the Philippines. But here's what makes him number 1. He gave it all back. Pacquiao has built thousands of homes for homeless families in the Philippines. He's built schools, hospitals, and basketball courts in impoverished areas. He personally pays the electric bills for entire neighborhoods. He hands out cash to strangers on the street. In 2016, he was elected as a senator in the Philippines, and he used his position to push for healthcare reform, education funding, and poverty relief. Manny Pacquiao didn't forget where he came from, and he spent his entire life making sure other kids don't have to sleep in cardboard boxes like he did. Manny Pacquiao saved thousands of lives, But the next 5 boxers on this list, they took them. We're entering the dark side of boxing, starting with a heavyweight champion who literally bit a man's ear off on live television. Let's look at the monsters. Number 4, Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history at 20 years old. A knockout machine, unstoppable, and then everything fell apart. In 1992, Mike Tyson was convicted of rape and sentenced to 6 years in prison. He served 3. When he got out, he tried to rebuild his career. But in 1997, during a fight with Evander Holyfield, Tyson bit off a piece of Holyfield's ear and spit it onto the canvas. It's one of the most shocking moments in sports history. Tyson was banned from boxing. His career never recovered. Over the years, Tyson has been arrested for assault, drug possession, and DUI. He filed for bankruptcy despite earning over $400 million in his career. Now, to his credit, Tyson has reformed in recent years. He's sober, he's introspective, and he's acknowledged his past mistakes. But the damage was done. Tyson had the world in his hands, and he threw it away. Number 3, Riddick Bowe, Olympic silver medalist, heavyweight champion, one of the most talented heavyweights of his generation, and then he kidnapped his own family. In 1998, Riddick Bowe kidnapped his estranged wife and their 5 children at knife point. He drove them to his home in Maryland and held them hostage. His wife escaped and called the police. Bowe was arrested and charged with interstate domestic violence and kidnapping. A judge initially sentenced him to just 30 days due to claims of brain damage from boxing. Prosecutors appealed. Bowe was sent back to federal prison and served 17 months. After his release, Bowe tried to make a comeback, but nobody wanted to work with him. He ended up broke, divorced, and estranged from his children. Riddick Bowe had everything: Olympic glory, world titles, millions of dollars, and he destroyed it all by terrorizing his own family. Number 2, Edwin Valero. Imagine being 27-0 with 27 knockouts. Every single win by knockout. You're being called the next great lightweight champion. The future is yours, but behind closed doors, you're a monster. Edwin Valero was a Venezuelan boxer with a perfect record. He was fast, powerful, and seemingly unstoppable in the ring. But Valero had a history of domestic violence. He'd been arrested multiple times for assaulting his wife, Jennifer. And then in April 2010, Valero stabbed his wife to death in a hotel room in Venezuela. He was arrested and thrown in jail. The next morning, guards found him dead in his cell. He had hanged himself with his own clothing. Edwin Valero was 28 years old. He murdered the mother of his children and then took his own life. It's one of the darkest stories in boxing history. Number 1, Carlos Monzon, the most beloved boxer in Argentina's history. 14 title defenses, one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters ever, and a murderer. Carlos Monzon was a national hero in Argentina. Millions of people worshipped him. Children wanted to be like him. He was untouchable. But in 1988, Monzon murdered his wife, Alicia Muniz. He threw her off a second-floor balcony at their home. She died instantly. Monzon was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to 11 years in prison. Argentina was in shock. Their greatest hero was a killer. In 1995, Monzon was granted a weekend furlough from prison. On his way back to jail, he was killed in a car crash. Carlos Monzon died the way he lived, violently and tragically. Argentina had to reckon with the fact that their greatest hero had murdered the woman he claimed to love. But the dark side of sports doesn't stop with boxing. If you thought this was wild, you need to see the new series I'm dropping next. Hit subscribe right now so you don't miss episode 1.